like that, brother?
Yeah, next time you got to make sure that's one T, not two T's
Okay.
in Scotsman.
Um. Okay. I just thought it was two T's. Um.
No, it's
But
written everywhere, dude. All you have to do is look and read it. Anyway,
uh. Okay. What I want to get into first story I want to get into tonight is Trump signing the executive order yesterday. As far as the extension for the sale of TikTok, and there's a lot of conservative voices that are saying what he did was illegal. It was an overreach of power, and mind you, that's coming from his own party, the
they didn't
conservative voices.
care when the first two times he did it. Now, did they?
No, now they care.
And now it's, well, now he's doing this against what we want. And the really sad part is from my perspective alone, not from yours, but from my perspective, TikTok is a dumpster fire
Yes.
where kids and social media wannabe influencers go and tout their wares or their stupidity online. There are other websites for that. And because, like, originally TikTok was a fucking dance application.
Yes. It's
Like, it
where
was for
all the
literally doing small dances or dance routines and then get the hell out of our face because we don't care.
yeah, and dance trends and other stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what it started out as, but now it's, yeah.
Now it's uber political. Like
Oh, it's
like
it's beyond super political. You can hear plenty of politics. You can hear. I have to keep on scrolling past because I'll end up getting on this. All these people going live that. Well, this is my trans life. It's like I don't care. I'm not interested. If I was, I'd stay there and talk, but I'm not. Like,
yeah.
nobody cares that your favorite ice cream is pineapple bubble gum. Nobody
Yeah.
cares. The fact that they're all tuning in usually just means they're bored or they're trying to get down your pants.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if it was recorded stuff, like the stuff I generally do on YouTube,
Yeah.
at least you know you're not going to get live interaction. You're going to get interaction, but you're not going to get live interaction. And I think that's what Gen Z is made up for their lack of um, interpersonal communication skills. Instead of them talking to somebody face to face, it's let's get on TikTok and do whatever the hell we want, and we can act however we want because we're all going to be idiots to each other anyway.
Yeah.
There's no social
And
repercussion for it, but
yeah. And I guess Trump had a meltdown today as well because his new polling came out and it was from his beloved Fox News, and it's showing that his that he's like underwater in the polling, and he had like a hissy fit meltdown over it, and now he's mad at Fox News for giving out fake pollster.
he wants everybody to glorify him and glower over him and fawn over him because we are dealing with a man who was never taught how to be a man because his family didn't reward being human. It was dominate at all costs, rip your friends off. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You make friends with those who enrich your life financially or power wise. If they don't, fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why when people during his first term were like, "Well, he let that one black lady live in Trump Tower for free," you know, that was a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
They
I
went
want to
back
get.
and they went back and looked for her apartment. It's not there. He booted her ass out.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this. The
You
the
can
dooms
try.
the doomsday plane was spotted landing in Washington D.C. Now, the last time the doomsday plane was used was the 9/11 attack, and George Bush was flying around the country in the doomsday plane until everything was clear.
Now, for those who may or may not be watching, hopefully you've sent the notification to your friends
Yeah.
or your followers, because I don't see anybody watching on this thing right now, but maybe you do. Um, quickly give an explanation of the Doomsday plane, not for me, for the viewers.
Okay. Basically, the doomsday plane is a fortified jet, almost like Air Force One, where in the threat of a terrorist attack or a nuclear attack, the president will be loaded on the plane, and he will fly around in the air until it's safe to land. Until it's safe to land again.
Okay, now with that in mind, do you know who tracks the Doomsday plane?
Who?
I
NORAD?
Yeah,
I think it.
NORAD is the only one allowed to make contact with him at that point. All communications have to go through NORAD. And I know there's people who know either didn't know. NORAD's the one that runs communications through there. Yes, they can call anyone anywhere on the planet they want, but why would they?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were saying about the Doomsday plane hasn't been in Washington. It hasn't been in Washington D.C. since 9/11.
Yes. Just the story I read on it. This is the first time the doomsday plane has been spotted landing in D.C. since the 9/11 attacks.
Well,
Which
that does make
coincides
sense, doesn't
with what's
it?
going on with Israel. Yes, and this also coincides what's going on with Israel and Iran, and the Orange Cheeto head threatening to get involved in the war, which you and I talked about last
Cheeto
night.
Benito.
He can't without an act of Congress, but he goes, I'll decide in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I'll decide.
Now, question for you, being the host. I may as well get your take on it. What do you feel about America's involvement with Israel versus Iran?
Well, personally, Israel was the one that bombed Iran first. Never mind. Yes, everything I've read over. Hey, Aquarius.
Hello, Aquarius. Yeah. I have no idea who that is, but hi anyway.
I've taken a break, Aquarius. Now, per the intelligence community, and you even had Tulsi Gabbard testify this in front of the Senate in March, that Iran is not seeking a nuclear weapon because the Ayatollah discontinued the nuclear weapons back in 2003. Now, of course, this is the intelligence community, but we don't know exactly how accurate the intelligence community is.
I'm guessing you've been watching some sorts of news because you've brought to my attention over the past week or two all these little tiny breadcrumb stories that honestly I've looked 3 of them up. They're not even news. They don't exist. The headlines only exist where you're watching them. Now, I'm asking you the question because you should see the inner politics, and right now you're saying that Israel started this whole thing.
Well, now you do have Hamas and then October 7th, it was 2023, but the actual bombing Israel went and struck a nuclear site in Iran.
Okay, now do you want Iran to be a nuclear power?
No,
You're buzzing out.
but yeah, as far as I can see it, okay,
You just buzzed out, dude.
as far as I can see it, Netanyahu is.
You froze up, dude. Hello. Hello. Are you there?
Okay, Netanyahu's been on this kick since 2002.
Yeah. See, Aquarius said it too. You were cutting out bad, so
Okay.
we didn't hear half of your opinion right there.
Okay. Since 2002, Netanyahu has been telling the United States, oh, they're close to a nuclear weapon. They're close to a nuclear weapon since 2002. And I watched the Midas. I watched a interview last night with Midas Touch, and it goes 2002, 2010, 2012, 2015, 2016, 2017. He's been saying that they were close to a nuclear weapon since the early 2000s.
Yeah, it takes a while. Look at fucking North Korea. They've been trying to develop trying to develop nuclear weapons for years, decades. I don't know if they've actually done it, but I don't think they have. But I could be wrong. But yeah, um, Iran is considered by our standard to be a third world country.
Yeah. Now, see,
So
Israel wants. I was gonna say real quick. Now I'll let you finish. Israel wants regime change, and the person they want to bring in is the son of the former Shah from the late 70s. Mind you, this guy they want to bring in has no popularity because his father was a dictator, but this guy's also secular, and Israel thinks that they can install the son of the Shah. He will be their puppet.
Uh-huh.
That's why, well, Israel wants regime change, and that's all they want.
Are you finished?
Yes, go ahead.
Because you kind of like rambled on and went 3 different tangents. Okay. First of all, Israel is trying to eliminate Hamas. I didn't do that.
I know. Sorry, I was trying to hit my camera. Go ahead.
Jesus, you're just full of fumbles tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll even give you the.
No, I don't need the full screen. But you have to understand that the Ayatollah, the one in charge of Iran, is ruling it with an iron fist because he has openly said that he wants to convert everybody to Islam or be a Muslim. And that is his whole thing is to glorify Allah and Muhammad. And they were working on nuclear armaments back in 2003. I don't exactly know what happened, but I know when Trump abandoned the Iran nuclear deal, Iran started doing stuff again. They were already doing it beforehand because if you remember correctly, Obama had to threaten them with a nuclear war to get them to stop trying to come up with nuclear weapons. And when Trump stepped out of the deal, Iran just continued. So they've had, 10 years?
Yeah.
Of not worrying about it, 8 years of not doing anything. of nobody doing anything to inspect them. Because once we stop paying attention and holding them to their end of the deal, nobody gives a shit except for the people that are close by who stand to lose from it. Now, a lot of people are saying Netanyahu this, Netanyahu that. He's trying to destroy Hamas. And for those who think that, well, it's genocide, define a genocide.
Yeah.
It's the mass killing of an ethnic group. Palestinians are not an ethnic group. And no, I'm not being racist. You already know this.
Yeah.
Israelis are an actual ethnic group. And those people, well, they commingled. That's what happens when the Arab Muslim nation over there that dictates most of the world strangleholds you until you either breed or move out. And then when you move, oh, it's our land, it's our land, it's our land. Then when you take it away, you took away our land. You stole it from somebody else.
Yeah.
But the Ayatollah rules with an iron fist. And that's why when I hear people talking about the Ayatollahs, like, honestly, if I was a president, I'd probably order that person assassinated. I'd send in SEAL Team 6 or the even worse, the black suits. And then never have to worry about the Ayatollah ever again.
Yeah, I mean, just like in that post, Trump stated that he knows where the Ayatollah is at. The intelligence, he has the intelligence on where the Ayatollah is at, but he don't want to take out the Ayatollah because he wants a deal.
Because Trump thinks he's a great deal maker. And have you ever read The Art of the Deal?
I read parts of it, and he's lousy, dude.
His book doesn't tell you a fucking thing about real estate. He brags about how great he is at it, considering he had a ghostwriter write the goddamn book for him. He didn't write that book. Fuck. He dictated a few of the chapters and let the ghostwriter fill in the blanks. Of enough of an attention span to do a book?
Yeah.
Hell no.
No.
Every book he claims to have written, he's had a ghostwriter write most of it for him. Well, he just fills in a few tidbits and then lets them fly off the hook, glowering him of how smart he is and anecdotes about his life. It teaches you nothing about the art of the deal. It teaches you nothing about negotiations, interest rates, mortgages, none of that shit. It's, I'm a great businessman. You should love me. You should pay more money to me. Why? You suck.
Yeah, and the Democrats are stating that if they regain power next year, they're going to start investigations into the Emoluments Act, which is in the Constitution.
I am aware well of the Emoluments Act.
Because of what he's doing, he's enriching himself while he's in office. And
first time, nobody bats an eye. Dude, you know how many Republicans were gung ho to do something, and the moment Trump did something stupid, it's, well, we'll have to look into that. We'll have to do something. We don't know what yet. We're going to look at. You lost your fucking penis somewhere. Y'all have had your spines ripped out because you're afraid of Donald Trump ending your career. Most of you have been in longer than he's fucking been rich. Most of those people have been in there for a long damn time. Why do you care? Well, he's still more powerful. Then you suck at being a politician after 40 years. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now that Republicans are being demonized, because even on when I start up on watching Today in the morning,
yeah,
usually they do pretty hard-hitting questions. There's been a few people that they don't go complete hardball with, and I get why they don't do it, because those people have already been lambasted in Congress in a committee meeting, and all you hear is, You're a fucking Democrat. You gotta die. You shouldn't be in office. Retire right the fuck now so we can demonize you, and then you'll never see anything. It's like, Why do they need more of that? So, yeah, they get softball questions because they already know the answers to the hardball questions because they've already done that. You know?
Yeah, and you
Republicans, when they get hardball, well, I'm not sure about them. We'll have to check in with Trump and see what his administration. You're spineless. You want to know what he wants you to say instead of you just coming out, hey, we fucked up. We're going to do better. No, it's we got to check with daddy to have permission to speak. The fuck? Are you representing the people or giving a blowjob to the man of the Oval Office? Yes, I know I went so off track there, but it stands to reason. He's collected enough power that he's frightening all of the old congressional members. Some of these people should have never fucking served because they've done really nothing.
Yes, and you have quite a few Republicans that are sounding the alarm bells because Harry Enton, who's one of the pollsters on CNN, he does like the election boards and stuff. Donald Trump is dragging the Republicans down when it's going into the midterms, and is boosting the Democrats going into the midterms. And you have quite a few Republicans, especially MAGA Republicans, who are trying to distance themselves from Trump because he's going to cost them the House and the Senate in 2026.
Again, they've made that bed. Shouldn't they lay in it?
Yeah.
Like when Obama took office, what did everybody, including you, say about Obama?
Dude, I can't remember. It's been too long.
You're full of shit. You damn well remember what you said. You're just embarrassed to say it. Just like when I told you about Chat GPT the other day, I went and looked up my own podcast and asked following questions. That way I could figure out what was going on with my podcast. You have to do the work. You said what you said about Obama, we will leave the racial epithets out. You said that is a no good Muslim dog at one point. I think I'm paraphrasing that. You said that the country would be ruined by him. You dogged on him so hard, but what did he do?
He helped the country.
He did an FDR. He took a fucking trashed economy and a nation verging on the bend of fucking breaking down and being cracked, scattered, and manipulated by everybody on the planet into a cohesive fucking country.
Yeah. But see, now you have the Senate parliamentarian, because of the big, beautiful bill, she has went through and stripped almost everything out of the bill because some of the stuff in the bill would violate the Byrd rule, which, like what was in the bill was...
The Byrd rule? Is that? Yeah. I hope we're not making a Titanic reference. No icebergs, right?
No,
and no Goldbergs.
BYRD, Byrd.
The way you're talking, it sounded like you said Berg, and you were. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with your audio, but you cut out for like half a second. So,
one of the things in the big ugly bill was defunding the Consumer Protection Board.
I told you that was going to get cut.
They wanted to cut 1 point. Yeah. And what also got cut was the federal.
Whoa. If you're cutting off, I can't hear what the hell you're saying. Back up like 2 sentences.
Okay. What also got cut was something that they slipped in which would kneecap the federal judicial system to where they couldn't file criminal contempt charges against the Trump administration when the Trump administration would lie to them. The plaintiffs would have to put up a bond in order for the federal judge to file contempt charges against Trump officials.
They would have to pay in advance for anything, and they would have to pay in advance to even have a judge try the case.
Yes, put up a bond, basically, is what they're calling. But that got cut by the parliamentarian.
It's paying for a judge. You're basically paying the judge personally out of pocket to try the case or to even look at it. That's not legal.
Yeah. No, that got cut from the big beautiful bill. And you have
there's a lot of stuff that got stripped out of the big beautiful bill. You froze up.
There's a lot of stuff getting pulled out because there's a lot of stuff pulled out.
What's going on with your
There's a lot
video,
of stuff getting pulled out by the parliamentarian. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff getting pulled out by the parliamentarian that doesn't go along with the Byrd rule because it wouldn't be considered reconciliation. And you have MAGA Mike going, "Oh, don't pull too much stuff out. I won't be able to get it passed in the House."
They're basically, as far as I recall from watching the YouTube videos and the media, which I know a lot of fucking Trumpers hate listening to mainstream media because they don't ever report the positive. When you point out the positive, I will gladly acknowledge it. Until that happens, why should I bother reporting it? So with all these people saying that these things are bad, the Republicans the conservative MAGA Republicans were trying to set stuff up so that they couldn't be held responsible for anything they did. It was all, well, we were just following orders. That's all we were doing, I swear. No, that's called fascism. That's trying to get plausible deniability to a Congress that doesn't want to be answered to because Trump doesn't want to be answered, or doesn't want to be answering to anybody either.
Yeah, and apparently Trump has nominated this new guy for a federal bench, and he is like, because I've seen a picture of him and I've read his backstory. He is uber MAGA, like to the point where one of his idols is Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, that's pretty common in that circle, dude. Like I was having a conversation with a friend of mine that I graduated with.
Yeah.
And she was pointing out that authorities were going to clear out this homeless encampment up in Alaska. And apparently these people were trying to set fires to keep them from coming in. These are people who are drug addicts.
Wait, what?
All that shit. And they were setting fires in Alaska to keep any authority figures away. When these people are offered help of any kind, no, I don't want it. I just want to live the life I'm living now. Drug addled, homeless, drunk, mentally disturbed. And my comment to her was the main problem with all that is that I believe and I've said this on my own podcast, you heard it. Our mental health system here is completely fucking broken. Too many people trying to be the next Dr. Phil or trying to make the next breakthrough discovery when they don't even understand the fucking problem.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't I know?
I mean, hell, I commented that if you go down First in Topeka, you will run into the overwhelming wave of stench and mental illness and drug users. All the people they have a homeless encampment over there on the sidewalks. They have outreach, they have the police, they have all these people trying to get them help, and all these people, no, I want to be left alone. I want to live like I'm living. That's not living. That's you trying to remain a sovereign citizen in your own right Huh?
I said, no, I've seen it down there at First and Second Topeka.
Yeah, you literally have to drive carefully because there will be people who will just, they'll be having an argument with several people who aren't there. And they'll just squat in the middle of the street and sit.
Yeah. It's bad.
Oh, I know. But like I said, our mental health system is broken. Everybody's looking for, a lot of these shrinks are looking for medicines that can make the people more docile. People don't want to be docile. A lot of these people want to
Yeah.
just live the life they're living now, and to hell with everybody else. It's like, yeah, but you need to have help. I don't want help. You need help. You've gone beyond rock bottom.
Yeah. Like especially you see a lot of stuff down in second and first, well, first in Topeka and second in Topeka. You see like a lot of trash and um
Trash,
you
shopping
see,
carts, tarps.
yes, yeah, trash, shopping carts. Um, there was a McDonald's down here at 9th and Broadway, closed down because of the homeless. And there was a Popeye's chicken like right straight across from the Burger King here on North Broadway. It closed down because of all the homeless.
Yeah, because if you go just past 9th on Broadway,
Yeah,
literally most of the hotels there cater to pimps and prostitutes and drug users.
yeah,
And something needs to be done to correct that situation. The problem is drugs and mental health. And like I said before, I don't think these all these people with these degrees uh, in psychology and psychiatry, I don't think they need those degrees. They have not helped. They have not helped enough people get out of the cycle of homelessness to qualify to be somebody who fixes people's heads.
yeah.
I mean, God knows Trump needs one. Shit.
Now
But when you
I want to
cut,
get your hold on. I want to get your thoughts on this. There was a picture that was blowed up of Trump's right hand, and you could see the bruises, and you can also see where it's heavily caked on makeup over his right hand. What is going on with that?
I don't know. It's like when he was talking about Iran needs to come to the table. He
Hmm.
got his hair dyed again, and he got a new spray tan.
Yeah,
He's wanting to exude this image of youthfulness and glowing health when, if you take all that away, he's just a old white guy who talks like every other MAGA head. We need to do this. We need to do that. What is he doing to solve the problems? He claims to want to bring everybody into the negotiating table because, again, he thinks he's an awesome negotiator. And the art of the deal is not the point of the art of the deal was to sell books under the
yeah,
premise that he gives you the answers. He doesn't give you the answers. He wants you to pay to follow him. He wants you to pay to be like him. So why not charge people who are trying to do that? That's why Trump
yeah,
University failed. And yes, he got a bargain with that settlement because I would not have settled. I paid $20,000 to get one-on-one time with Donald Trump and to get advanced course classes and shit over the next like 6 months. If you don't give it to me and I get everything in writing, I'm not settling for $1.5 million or whatever because it's buying me off and after I've already paid.
yeah,
Because that's 200 people and I already did the math, and he got a huge discount with the out of court settlement for Trump University.
Yeah.
It should have cost him 4 times as much to get out of that.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it should have cost him a lot of money, but he always wants to settle. You're never gonna get a deal better than that. I can guarantee. No, it's you stick your guns like no. My lawyers are on standby. I spent $20,000. You're going to give me my money's worth. Otherwise, we're going to go until you can't operate a university. You can't run anything business related because you're just a sham artist.
Yeah, I was watching this documentary last night. It was called Where is Melania, and it was from 60 Minutes Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, I turned the channel when I saw that hit. I'm like, yep, no, I'm not doing that. I really don't care about Melania, so I don't keep up with anything she does because in the long run, it really doesn't matter what she's doing because she's still standing by the president, even though he tried to hold her hand a while back, and they have video of her smacking his hand away.
Yeah, they showed that in the documentary last night.
I'm like, okay, he's kind of got their marriage on a downward swing. That's on him. I don't care what's going on with her because until some other bombshell comes out or unless she divorces him publicly while he's in office, what does it matter?
Yeah, and dude, I just had to laugh, man. That military parade was a total fucking flop.
Yeah, there were more people. I know you didn't attend the No King rally, but they had a flag day event for the MAGA heads. You know how many people showed up all day for that?
Hey, you're telling me 30, maybe 40?
30 whole people. You know how many people showed up for the No King rally?
I think over 5 million. Not here, but worldwide, over 5 million. Here. How many?
Thousands. Like from what was it? I want to say Manor Market all the way to like Emporia. And we're talking, it's going up and down like this cross streets too.
Yeah.
It was hard to walk through that crowd. Like there were that many people. It actually started sparking up my social anxiety disorder. There were that many people there.
Well, I know here in the United States, there's roughly about 5 million people that showed out in every state. Plus, you had other countries like Germany, the UK, Australia, all getting online at the same time. So this No Kings protest on the 14th was global.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter in other countries. Other countries can support us by doing a demonstration, but that's like people protesting the Israel-Palestinian war.
Yeah.
Does protesting here make a difference at all over there?
No.
So when people in other countries are trying to protest against Donald Trump here, is it doing anything when they're in another country?
No.
I get the support, but it's not doing anything. That's why when people are, I've talked to a few people like, well, who do you support, Israel or Palestine? My default is always going to be the Israeli side.
Yeah.
Because I'm part Jewish, history.
Yeah.
I'm a huge history buff. You already know that.
Yeah.
But when these people are like, well, do you agree with him killing men, women, and children in Palestine? I don't agree with killing unless it's absolutely necessary, and then hopefully it's only the combatants. And I've had to explain this to a couple people that are actually from the area. If you're trying a guerrilla warfare tactic of hiding among the people, Who does that hurt?
The people.
Exactly. It doesn't hurt the combatants, hurts everybody else
It
because
hurts the people.
you can worm your way out. You can worm your way out, take a back route. But if you're meeting in a hospital or a school, and the other person bombs you while right after you leave, you've effectively created victims. And then you bombed us.
Mhm.
You were there. You left right before the bombs hit. How are you not the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, that's just my thing. Sorry, one of my bosses texted me. I had to pay attention to it for a half second.
That's
But
okay.
the thing that people are forgetting when they're talking about, well, men, women, and children are dying in Palestine, okay, but Hamas is a part of that.
Yeah.
Hamas is trying to still use guerrilla warfare tactics of, oh, you're more mobile. The problem is in a densely populated area, trying to do guerrilla warfare like that only
Yeah.
kills your fellow countrymen. And yes,
Yeah.
afterwards they come out, you bombed. You had no right to bomb. You were hiding there. You ran when you found out you were about to be bombed. So instead of you taking one on the chin for your team, you decide to get out of wherever you were. And when innocent civilians die, you're going to blame us because you were too cowardly to take it. We don't want to lose anyone. You're losing all of your people.
Yeah. And I want to get your thoughts on this. With the whole Israel-Iran war, and Trump is declaring, "Give me 2 weeks, and I'll make a decision then." But at the same time, you have his own MAGA faithful who are coming apart at the seams, basically imploding uh, on the president even wanting to get involved in the war.
Because we shouldn't be getting in. The only thing we should be doing is offering Israel help when it needs our help. Other than that, let them do this shit. I'm not okay with women and children dying, but in that part of the world, it's called guerrilla warfare for a reason. You will
Yeah.
have to forgive me. I gotta mute myself here. You keep talking for a second.
Okay.
Let's see. You can look at the background of the hats on my wall and keep talking if you want.
Okay. Find it. TikTok executive order sparks GOP backlash, brazenly illegal. President Donald Trump's decision to extend the deadline for TikTok's parent company ByteDance to sell the United States operations has provoked an intense backlash from prominent conservative voices. The new executive order signed on Thursday grants ByteDance an additional 90 days until September 17, 2025 to divest TikTok or face a ban. Why it matters? Thursday's extension marked the third time Trump has delayed enforcement. The first came via executive order on January 20th, his first day in office, after the platform briefly went dark when a national ban approved by Congress and upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court took effect. The second extension came in April when the White House officials believed they were close to a deal to spin off TikTok into a new U.S. owned company. The agreement ultimately collapsed after China withdrew from Trump's tariff announcement. With each new extension, a U.S. ban on TikTok increasingly unlikely in the near future, but the decision to keep the app running by executive order has sparked criticism. This is lawless. Nothing in statute or otherwise permits the president to extend the deadline like this. Heath Mayo, founder of conservative group Principles First, wrote on X, formerly Twitter.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. I had to go. There wasn't an option.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was one of those emergencies you cannot not take care of right then and there. Otherwise, things get messy. But
hey, what we were talking about before we went live, I want to get your thoughts on it about Trump stating there's too many non-working holidays in the calendar year.
Okay, the reason that holidays, especially federal holidays, were invented is to keep employees suffering from burnout, and so that they could get time off from their employers legally and get it approved. That's literally what the work holidays are for, is to give workers a fucking break, because all up until the 70s, about 70s, late 60s, early 70s, people would have to work a lot of days in a row. We're talking people would work and only get weekends off and maybe 3 days out of the year off.
Wow.
And think about it. Back in, during the Industrial Revolution, which Trump seems to idolize so much, the worker barons, the rich oil barons, the Rockefellers, the whatever, those people used to work their people 7 days a week in 12-hour shifts. And if they did not meet a particular goal that the employer wanted, their wages would be lowered, and they would have to work 16-hour shifts to meet their goals. And it's President's Day, I need to take the day off. President's Day didn't exist. It was, you either show up here for your shift or you're fired. Because there was no retaliating against a multimillionaire back then.
I want to get your thoughts on how many presidents do we know that would tear out the presidential rose garden?
I don't know. I'm not particularly partial to roses myself, but
at the White House,
if the president doesn't like something that's at the White House, other than say like a presidential picture of a particularly important president, then they will remove whatever they need to remove.
He's putting in a Mar-a-Lago patio.
Uh-huh. Remember, he runs the White House. Like,
I didn't know presidents could drastically do stuff to the White House when they're only going to be in office 4 years.
They can and they will. Imagine, if you will, you working the same angle on the Lincoln bedroom. What if, and this isn't going to, I don't see it happening, but what if Trump decided, I don't like the Lincoln bedroom. I want it to be now the Trump bedroom. It's now the Trump bedroom. Change everything to my liking. And there's no longer a Lincoln bedroom. What do you say to that?
I don't know what to say to that.
I mean, it's unfathomable, right?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure if he wanted to do that, he could. He'd be dumb to, because the Lincoln bedroom is one of the most visited bedrooms in the fucking White House. other
Yeah.
than like the Oval Office. And yes, they do give tours of the Oval Office.
Yeah. Jojo from Jers posted this. Too many non-working holidays in America. It is it is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. If it must change if we are going to make America great again.
Excuse me. Can I
Yeah.
make a point?
Yeah.
COVID. What happened to everything?
Closed down.
And that's while he was in office.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, this is going to cost, dude, what you did cost us trillions of dollars, not billions, trillions of dollars.
And now RFK Jr. Fired the entire vaccine committee and put in their place anti-vaxxers.
And vaccine skeptics.
Yes.
I know. I watch the news in the morning, dude. I hear a lot of interesting stories that came across. I'm like, number one, I would fire RFK, and when RFK, well, I was trying to make a change, dude, go off and die somewhere. You sound like the 110-year-old man who just wants to die, but you've got all these beautiful plans. We've got to get these things going. It's like, dude, you had a brain worm. You're a vaccine skeptic. Like when he was talking about autistic people will never do, when he named off all the things that autistic people can't do. Do you remember the fucking backlash?
Oh, tremendous.
That was like the rain we got here 2 weeks ago on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That was biblical level kickback. Well, they'll never go to the bathroom. They'll never be able to hold hands, fall in love, you know how many fucking autistic people can do every goddamn thing he listed?
Yeah.
He's acting like they're literally just born with Down syndrome, and a major case of Down syndrome where they're just sitting there with drool running together. That's his definition of autistic. You know how many fucking autistic people there are who aren't even diagnosed autistic that do more than like I can? A shitload. Yeah. Now, am I saying that autism is far too greatly diagnosed? Yes. Actual true autism, in my opinion, based on all the years of studying I've done on it, is way too diagnosed. And
yeah,
then they want you to put you on medicines and counseling. I'm sorry, I'm not going to spend all of my life working to have medicine and a fucking counselor. If the autistics are like, well, I have this and that and the other, and I cannot. You realize with our generation, Gen X, it's if something bothered you, your parents did the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Your parents didn't, oh, we need to knock off the noise. It was, no, they fucking turned that stereo up to 11, blowing your eardrums out. If you didn't like it, fuck off, go to your room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our parents were more of the, fuck you, we're going to do what makes you unhappy, what sets you off, and then when you decide to get set off, we're going to knock your ass through a goddamn wall till you learn to shut your fucking mouth and cope with it.
Yeah.
In a healthy way.
Yeah, when we did something wrong, our parents were fuck around and find out.
No, we learned to find out because we fucked around. And by the time we hit teenage years and became rebellious, I remember my parents going like, Do you really want to do that? My dad would be like, glasses down, young man. Do you really want to do that? And yes, a couple times I was smart ass enough to say, "Fucking A," and what are you going to do about it? I don't remember the next 5 minutes. I remember going to back when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. Back when I was like, what, 6 or so? I took a trip back to 1986 in one of those trips to the past. But I don't remember the next 5 minutes. I know I couldn't walk afterwards because my dad apparently set the paddle to my ass. And with him knowing sumo, he put all of his weight in every swing. And I couldn't sit down for a few days. I had to spend I even had to sleep standing up, leaning against the wall.
See, what I don't understand is he put this post out on Juneteenth, and the only thing I can think is he don't like the holidays that, quote unquote, according to him, are DEI.
He doesn't like DEI in the first fucking place, but yet, who signed Juneteenth? Who started that?
I think it was Biden. It was Biden.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was Biden. Biden made it a federal holiday, I believe in 2022 or 2023.
He didn't start that ball rolling, buddy.
No, he didn't start the ball rolling, but he actually signed it into law as a federal holiday. Like 2 years into it.
When a third of the nation is about to violently riot, if they don't get that holiday, well, you kind of want to sign it just to make sure peace is achieved. And now I had to hear 2 days worth of, well, we're celebrating Juneteenth, we're losing all of our corporate sponsorship, but we want to keep this a regular holiday for us black folk. I didn't celebrate Juneteenth because I am not, in fact, black. Even though some chick on TikTok said that redheads are now black, and I still don't get why she said that. That's asinine. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, I did the same thing I'm doing now. I freaking laughed my ass off.
So according to her logic, I'm black, you're black. We some albino Negroes, huh? I mean, goddamn, I've got blue eyes and red hair, so yeah.
Yeah,
it's really trippy. It's like, yeah, I fall into that albino category really well. I mean, if you ask any of my exes, they would say I might be partially black because of my extremities.
Yeah, donkey.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it's like, no, that bitch made no sense. And I don't celebrate Juneteenth because I'm not black, and everybody gets that. I look at them as like, okay, I tell people, do you celebrate Rosh Hashanah? No, I'm not Jewish. Do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Well, everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, but it's really only for the Irish. It's like Cinco de Mayo. I don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo because I'm not Mexican at all. And I haven't been in a Mexican chick yet, so I can't claim that I've been partying inside of one. To celebrate Cinco de Mayo that way, but I don't celebrate a lot of holidays because they don't really matter to me. There's a day, I think it's in September or October, where I wear a kilt and I take the day off. It's a Scottish holiday, and me being quite literally DNA wise almost 50% Scottish, I figure I can do a holiday every now and then. But yeah, that's when I hear people talk about, We're a marginalized population, and we're not getting all this stuff that you guys had. Okay, stuff that happened back in the 50s and 60s was not my fault. My parents weren't born until halfway through the 50s, so you can't blame me either. Or you can't blame them either. You have to go back to the silent generation and the greatest generation, and then the boomers. Well, not necessarily the boomers. Not all the boomers were born yet.
No.
But when they talk about being marginalized, it's like, no, you were marginalized by racist Southern dicks who would not relinquish anything if you didn't look exactly like them. If you weren't white, you weren't right. Which we've come to know is complete and utter bullshit.
Yep.
Because this whole thing about racial purity is like, the only part that disturbs me is you see all these movies where white chicks are falling for black guys, but how many movies you see a black girl fall in love with a white guy other than on Lifetime?
Yeah.
Or Hallmark. And that black chick is basically a white chick just with a really burned in tan. You never see you don't really see black women going after white guys in the bars. At least
no,
I didn't. You see women cooing. You see white girls cooing over black guys, but I assume that's a mix of rebelliousness and poor judgment calls. No, I'm not saying dating a black man is a bad thing, but as often as it's hyped up, it's like, nah. Somebody's trying to propagate some shit that isn't true.
Yeah.
But
you were saying? While you were gone, I was reading about the Trump TikTok. The Trump TikTok extension.
Well, this is the second extension. No, this is the third extension.
Third.
That's been given to TikTok. I don't see it selling to anybody because nobody's got the balls to shut down TikTok, because if they shut down TikTok, all these young adults running around, all the Gen Zers, might actually have to fucking communicate. Mm-hmm. They might actually have to get out of their parents' basement or out of the spare room their parents have, get out and talk to people and socialize. They're too used to clicking to using their phones and computers. Mm-hmm. They're that used to that shit. It's annoying to me, but fuck it. What do I know?
I know it's annoying to you.
Oh, it is endlessly. Like I got the last time I went live, I had somebody a sentence popped up from one of the people viewing it, and they were. I read the comment silently so that nobody would hear the stupidity in it.
Yeah.
And then I reported them, and 3 hours after I was done with that, I get a report from TikTok saying they didn't violate any community standards. Then what the fuck are they doing? What the fuck are your community standards? If a bunch of people don't like you and decide to get you canceled on TikTok, they just do it. And they don't need to have a reason to dislike you. They don't want a reason. If they don't like you, they just want you out and off. That's why I use YouTube, because it's not a fucking dumpster fire. This is not a dumpster. Using YouTube and StreamYard, you get to skip out on the dumpster fire from all the trolls who think they need to put in their 2 cents or make you look stupid or be as offensive as possible without getting in trouble for it. Just like they took down one of my, just like YouTube recently took down one of my videos because it had medical misinformation. It did not have.
Was that the
information?
Was that from the COVID?
Huh?
Yeah. Was that from the COVID era?
It's one of them from the COVID era, yes. Because I stated an opinion based on numerical fact, and I was able to prove, because they tried banning it the first time and couldn't, because I wasn't actually breaking in terms of service. When they're going back that far to COVID when COVID
Mhm.
was reaming the country a new asshole, but it wasn't killing all that many people. All of a sudden, now they go back. Oh, this doesn't meet with our community guidelines now. When I made that bitch 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, it was the truth. It still is the truth. It's just an inconvenient truth. You trying to wipe out everybody who was saying that COVID wasn't as bad as it's reported to be isn't a war cry
Yeah.
for the right to come after me for. That would be like me
Wow.
suing Walt Disney for coming out with Songs of the South when actually it's a pretty fucking good movie. Even though it does have racial and biased overtones and undertones to it, it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, would you ban Gone with the Wind from viewing because it was heavily based on a different time?
No.
I mean, it was based pre-Civil War, Civil War, and then post-Civil War, back when blacks were slaves on plantations. And yes, I know people are like, well, they don't need to be. This was done before your grandparents were fucking born. Fuck off. You know?
Look at To Kill a Mockingbird. The cancel culture on freaking on X got To Kill a Mockingbird canceled.
I don't know how they canceled it, but sure.
How'd
I
they
honestly don't
cancel
know how
it?
they would have canceled it. You can still find the movie.
No, the book, not the
You
movie.
realize that all the books on the banned list are the ones that are the most bought, right?
Yeah.
So, like when Mouse, the graphic novel, got republished,
Yeah.
it became a smash fucking hit, and Gen Z tried to cancel it out. Gen Z and Boomers tried to cancel it. Well, this isn't it doesn't matter what the fuck you remember from your goddamn high school days back in the goddamn 60s and 70s. We've learned a lot since then, you idiots.
Yeah.
But a lot of boomers want to remember things how they grew up remembering them, whether or not they were truthful or not. Like we like to call the 80s as a high time in pop culture, but a low time politically because Reaganomics.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
this country was caught in a swamp during the Reagan years. We didn't know it because we were too young, but we got to
Yeah.
enjoy a lot of the 80s, and we're definitely shaped by that decade. I mean, was it a great decade for us? Yes. For our parents, probably not. I mean, our parents probably fucking scrounged like hell just to make everything work.
Yeah.
Just like I remember how the 90s were okay. The problem is you had a lot of the goth bullshit coming out of the woodwork,
Yeah.
and you had a lot of guys who were pedophiles and sex offenders who were adopting the gothic vampire thing, and
Yeah.
they were able to sleep with all of the hot chicks that they wanted because all they had to do was look dark, mysterious, and pale, and kind of look like a vampire. And women fell at their feet with their corsets open and their dresses up.
Yep.
And now we've got half of a generation filled with kids who were conceived because a sex offender found something to lure women in with that he wanted to sleep with.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly see the Bush years as being particularly fruitful because most of the time that Bush was in office, our economy wasn't doing that well. And I say that knowing that I voted for Bush twice. Are you there? Am I here?
Uh,
What the hell's going on with your computer? Is your
I
mouse
don't know,
bouncing around or some
but
crap?
we've been on for like probably.
An hour.
We've been live for an hour and 10 minutes. You want to go ahead and wrap it up?
It's your podcast, not mine. I'm expecting your computer to be overheated because you still have that old clunker, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you upgrade, man?
I'm going to upgrade.
Save up some money and buy yourself a decent, like $500 computer. You can go a couple different ways, and if you go to like Best Buy, or is it Circuit City? I think it's still Best Buy. They have computers for under $300.
Yeah.
And yes, they have S mode on them. Yes, I know how to undo that, so that you can do whatever the hell you want on the computer. But yeah, you
Circuit,
what?
Circuit City ain't around anymore, man.
And neither is your relevance, but we're still talking, aren't we? See there, kids? Sarcasm. But yeah, you need to upgrade your computer, do some updating, get a better computer, man. I wouldn't use my older computers. I wouldn't even use my red laptop anymore to do anything else. It literally just holds movies and stuff I've held on to for years. Almost nothing is on this computer, and it starts up in 30 seconds. I can go from it being shut down to being here in 30 seconds. So, like I said, you need to update. You need to get a newer laptop, preferably one with Windows 11, so you don't have to keep upgrading shit. And yeah, get your stuff updated because your computer is overheating. I'm willing to bet.
Probably.
But it's your podcast. You say when to wrap it up, man, not me. And if you're gonna,
do you have anything? Do you have anything coming out this week?
I'm thinking about doing a live or trying to record a podcast this weekend. That way I get another one out because I have more than 40 subscribers now, so I figured I might as well put something out. My next one will be talking politics. I'm going to be doing a Happy Meal reveal on the Shroud Effect. Because you remember when they had those adult Happy Meals?
Yeah.
With the
nugget people?
No, they were the ones that had like Grimace, Bird, the Fry Kids.
Yeah.
The ones that I still have my box and I've never opened it.
Wow.
I do not know what's in it. I thought I would make just a special Shroud Effect video just for that, just to start telling in more viewers. But other than that, I'm fitting to be boiling ass hot this weekend because, yeah, it's supposed to be hot, like almost 100 degrees.
Yeah, I was out doing some Uber Eats deliveries. I was out on the east side of town, and I saw this tree. It was like an old freaking maple tree, split right down the middle, like something just broke it in half.
Oh yeah, because of the wind earlier this week.
Yeah, and then about a mile down the road from that, you had a tree snapped off, and you had maybe about 4 foot of the trunk left, and the rest of the tree was snapped off and laying next to it.
Yeah, we had that happen since I'm the maintenance man where I am. I had to spend a morning cleaning some of the sidewalks off of tree limbs, and one of our trees, well, 2 of our trees were basically snapped in fucking half. And we're talking branches this big.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking huge. These are 72-year-old sycamores. And like I started pointing out to my bosses, because I'm a woodworker, I know about trees. The sycamores around here are slowly dying. They're suffering from rot and insect infestations, but we're still working on that because it had a lot of work to do.
Wow.
It's
Well,
about
let's-
time to get off here because it's going on 10 o'clock, and I don't want to be on here all night because I got other shit to do.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock somewhere.
Well,
Peace
if
out,
anybody
y'all.
wants to